If you have interest in DevOps and deployment automation, this video will help you a lot for deploying responsive website with Nginx web server, and we will add a one domain and SSL certification so that end user, your end clients can use it without any hassle. Hello everyone, my name is Mohammad Asim. If you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe and hit the subscribe button so that you receive latest update from AWS and DevOps and the cloud related content from my channel. In this video, I will show you how to create your Jenkins pipeline or how to integrate your GitHub where your source code manager resides, integrate with Jenkins, and how you can connect a webhook, right? So whenever the changes done by the developer to the and the code pushed to GitHub, that has to be automated, built and deployed on your server. The cloud hosting, we will be using AWS services, right? And we will be using GoDaddy as our domain hosted, right? And we will comply SSL certification. And I have a surprise for you. Don't forget to subscribe till the end. By the end of the video, you will master all these steps, right? As I mentioned, the setting the Jenkins, creating a pipeline, creating a webhook. Let's get started. First, let's create an infrastructure. On top of that, we will install Jenkins, and in Nginx, we will configure it. Okay. So we'll go to the AWS dashboard. We are onto the AWS console, right? Where we are creating virtual machine. Okay, to create the virtual machine, first what you require to click on the install, right? Launch install, where we are going to name, right? We will say website responsive server, right? And we will go with the Ubuntu operating system. Then I'll be going with T2 medium because we need to configure Jenkins and remaining stuff like a apt we require to Nginx also, right? So in this case we can go with T2 medium. Then afterwards I will select any key pair, or else I'll click on the create new pair where you can set up, right? Website uh, responsive key, right? Just to remember that use case of the key, click on the create pair. Then I'll keeping everything as a default because we don't require anything, right? We don't have the private VPC and the subnets. If you have, then you please select based on your requirement, right? Here by default there is only SSH is enabled because we are using Nginx and everything. So I will do it. I will open HTTPS port and HTTP port as well. That stands for 80 and 440 port number, right? For this, for us, we will add it 14 GB, right? And GP3, that's fine. That is SSD already. So I'll click on review and launch instance. So instance will be launched. So our use case, we already created our infrastructure. That is AWS virtual machine, right? So what we require to access this virtual machine. Just I'll select over here. I'll get a new IP, right? I'll click on this IP and I'll go back over here. Then I'll click the SSH. So we are using what? We are using Mobile Extreme application, that is third-party application to access our server. Even you can use this putty, but for our convenient use case, we are just using, right? I'm giving the username as Ubuntu and the key whichever I have downloaded. Just I will give that same key over here. So this is over here. Click OK. Fine. We are into the to the virtual machine which we have created. First thing what we will do it, we will update these packages, right? After creating new machines, I will update package if they required. They will take all the updates from AWS because AWS is providing us the virtual machine, right? Fine. So now what we'll do, we'll switch back to our root user, right? We'll go to the root user. Let me check it over here. Fine. So when we discuss about something, let's try to understand over here. One thing is that if you are going to fetch your display your content, website content, right? So what do you require? Just a second. Right, we required one directory, that is var. On the var we require www directory. In the www directory we will have the html, okay? Html directory, right? Directory, in that directory we are going to put all our website file, that is CSS and everything. Where is our website content? That is in the GitHub. If you go back over here, you will be finding that I have a GitHub. There is a one repository, that is website responsive CI/CD Nginx repository. There you will find we have CSS, images, JS, and we have the HTML format files also, which will be used to fetch our website, right, to the end user, to the client. So quickly what I will do it, because as I mentioned that if I want to use fetch, sorry, I want to display, I required one Nginx web server, right? In that I required www directory also, right? World Web directory. So if I go back over here, CD, just a second, as I mentioned that I'll going C var, right? I'm into the var. If you check it over, I don't have www directory over here. By default, it will not install. You need to configure what? Nginx web server or Apache web server. Because Apache, we already covered the tutorial, like in our channel, we already have. In this tutorial, we are covering what with Nginx. Okay, fine. So quickly, what we will do it in order to get this WWD, what you require need to install Nginx. See, if I type Nginx, the Linux beauty is that it will provide the command on which you can install these packages. So I will copy and I'll paste it over here. Then I will give it -y so that it should not ask me any prompt. You're able to find that Nginx already configured now, right? After this, what will happen? It will create, if you check it LL over, you will finding one directory is created, that is www. It was not before, right? So now let's go to the www, then LL over here, then you will find one HTML directory is available, right? Now let me go to the HTML and ls over here. If I want to see the content of this, you're able to find there is some HTML format where it has given some of the prompt, right? The prompt in the cells, it has given some like content, welcome to Nginx server, welcome to this server, right? So this is not our end goal. Our end goal is to create one website and host one website completely, right, with all the files. So let's go and check it out with the what does our Nginx is working fine or no, right? How do we validate? Just I will take the IP address. Just I will go and I will paste it over here. So in the end, if you hit over here, you're able to find the Nginx is successfully configured. The port you have to use HTTP, right? So you have to check it over here. It has to be HTTP. Okay, that means successfully working fine. So now if you check it over here, let us validate that is our Nginx is working fine or no. So I can give it the status Nginx, right? Uh, Fine. So you're able to find that Nginx is active and running, and we are able to access on the browser side as well. So now the motive is that now what we require, we need to configure the Jenkins on the server, because end of the day we want to automate this flow, right? So just if I click it over here, Jenkins on Ubuntu, right? So we will be to the official document of Jenkins, right? What is my virtual machine? That is Ubuntu, which I've created. Simply what we will do it, we will go and we will configure first Java, because Java, top of Java, Jenkins is written in Java, right? So for that reason, we required what we required. We required Java. Okay. So we'll go over here, long-term support. Fine. Let me check where is Java. Mm, yes, it's for over here. Just what I will do, I will copy the commands from here. I'll go back over here and I will paste it, right? So just paste it over here. So it's asking fine. So it's asking still take the disk. Don't worry, I have enough data and the disk also. So no issue for that. The space. Uh, Java is successfully installed. Now what we will do it, we will install latest LTH version of Jenkins, right? So here is the latest supports. From here I'll copy just. So I'll be copying all the command over here. Then I'll go back to the server. Then I'll paste it over here. Then I'll say okay. Then hit enter. I'll say why. Then afterwards, let's get it installed. We have some more command that to be executed to make it Jenkins restart on the boot, right? So for that use case, we require to comment, paste this command also. We are creating one service, right, of Jenkins. So whenever the server is rebooted and anything, Jenkins.server will restart automatically on your virtual machine EC2 instance restart. Okay. That's fine. Now Jenkins is already installed, right? So now what we will do it, we will just do it over here. We are creating one service on the boot, right? It's saying that see, the enabled Jenkins is already enabled now. If I want to check the system, the status of Jenkins, systemctl status Jenkins over here, right? So able to find Jenkins is running fine. So that's fine. That's fine from our end. So till that, what we have done, created Jenkins. So quickly we'll go and we'll access. In order to access that, we need to enable the security port, right? So for that use case, I'll click on the security and I will open over here the security group. In the security group, I have to enable Jenkins 8080 port, right? Because Jenkins runs on 8080 port. Just add it over here. Then I'll say 8080. Then it should be open from anywhere, right? That's fine. So now what do we require? We require the IP address of our server, then 8080 port. On the 8080 port, the Jenkins is running. Well, I'll paste it over here, right? Then I will give it a 8080 port. So I'll go to the login page of Jenkins, right? If my configuration is fine. So I'm inside here. It's showing that you have a one password which is in your server EC2 instance. Just copy the path over here. Then use the cat command just to view it, right? Sorry, paste it. Just a second. cat command just to copy this. Let me copy the path over here. Then after paste it over here, right, hit enter. So the password will be displayed here, right? So I will take that and I will install, I will provide right here. If it is valid, then it will allow me to log in over here, right? So now it's asking, do you want to install suggest plugin? Yes, please install suggestion plugin. So it will take few seconds, then the plugins will be installed. This video is dedicated to unique AB247 of our follower. He insists us to make this video because we already covered this video with Apache Nginx, sorry, Apache Web Server, but his request was to make it Nginx, right, with the Nginx. So we are doing this video. If you want us to create some on the topic, some of the topic, if it is we found that interesting, we will create surely the tutorial on that topic. Okay, please do comment and let me know on which topic do you want me to create the next video. Okay, thank you. Well, the plugins has been installed. Now what do we require? We require to provide the username and the remaining part, right? Well, username by the default we will keep it admin, but in your case you can keep it more secure way, right? based on our use. This is for the tutorial purpose. I will say it asim, right? I'll save it asim at gmail.com, right? At gmail.com. Fine. Continue. Save and continue, right? We are logging into Jenkins now. Fine. Okay, now we are where we are. We are at the dashboard of Jenkins, right? So let's start clicking the new item, right? We will add it as a website pipeline, right? We will create from the scratch. Then I'll go with the pipeline, right? After the pipeline, what we will do it, I will write it at website over here. Then afterwards, I'll click it, keep for build because we want the access. Currently, we are configuring. So we need to debug if we found any errors, right? So that's fine. Later stage, we will enable this. The first step, what we will do, we will just take the sample of hello world. Then afterwards, I will say that git clone our repo, right? The repositories of this website. So here what we required the steps. So in this case, we will take the help of what pipeline syntax. So if I go for the pipeline syntax, you will be finding that you will be finding here, and I need to paste it my domain, sorry, my source code URL, right? Which is over here. I'll copy just a second. I'll go back over here and I will take the URL, right? And I will paste it over here, and the branch is main for my repo. If I click it over here, you will be finding that is main, right? So main is there. So quickly I'll go no credential because this is public. So I'll get the code, right? Just I'll take it that and I will provide it over here. So now what we are doing, we are giving first step, right? First step 1. So apply and save it. Build. So let's try to find that is our source code is working fine or no. Yes, it's able to get all the clone, right? First pipeline is done. What it fetches in the pipeline, if I click on this, you're able to go for workspace. You're able to find that whatever that exists in my repository that has been fetched. Okay, that's fine. That's fine for us. But the thing point is that we need to copy to this is Nginx directory as we mentioned before, right? When we have configured HTML directory, right? So I'll go and I will add it one more step over here, right? Sorry, I have to copy from the steps. Git clone, just a second, copy and enter added step 2, right? And the second step, what we will do it, we will copy, right? We'll copy the code to the directory, right? In this case, what we will do it, we will go and we will take it as such help, right? Then the sh, what we do as such, here I'm giving what cp cp one r, and the path is var ww, sorry, ww and html directory. I need to copy the content of this code to this directory, right? So just I will paste here, then I will to find this code over there, right? Now the point I will giving same code over here, and I'm saying this one copy to HTML directory, which is accessible now, right? Just save it over here and build it. Let's say our code is getting copied or no, right? It's saying that the build is successful. Now if I'm go over here and I will check into the var, just a second, to this directory is available or no, right? HTML, I should be able to find the content is over here. So the content is over here. So what I will do quickly, I will refresh our Nginx, right? So that this website should be accessible through the domain. Now if I go and refresh over here, this is accessible, right? So now the point is done, but our motive is what there. If there is any changes from the developer side, right, in the code level, source code management, that has to be automatically reflected, right? There should be no human intervention. So for that use case, what we'll do, we will go back again and we will customize our pipeline, right? So we will no need to go into the server and restart our Nginx to make our new changes reflection, right? For that use case, what we will do, we will add multiple steps over here. First step, what we will do it, we will just say that this existing directory, go and delete the content in the directory, right? So delete the directory content, right? For that use case, what I have to do it, I have to use the command rmrf, right? Afterwards, I have to give it over here, just a second, and I will give it slash star, right? What we are passing is that whatever in this directory we have, right, that has to be deleted because we want to reflect new changes, right? After that, what we are saying, whatever deleted, then afterwards, whatever new code is that, please that copy again to the server, to the directory, right? So let me add this point also, right? 3. So apply and change, and we will check it out again now. Okay. So we build now, and let's check what will happen. So it's saying the copy to that content is failed. Why it's failing? Let me go and check it over here. Let me go back and click on this. Afterward, console output. Let me go and check. It's saying that it cannot create a package of this, right? Okay. So what we will do it, we'll go back over here. I think we need to enhance something. Dot configure. Let me add dot. Let's check it over here. Okay, what we need to do, we need to provide some of the permissions, right? So after creating this, what we will do it, just we will add the stages to give the permissions, right? So the what is the permission? As such on hyphen r Jenkins, which directory? The directory path we have to give it over here, HTML, right? The path. So what we are doing, before copying the content, we are giving the Jenkins permissions so that it should not conflict with anything, right? So let's build and check it out if that is failing or no, right? Still it has failed. Okay, failed. Able to find that warning specified more than once. Content cp html dot git. Let me go and check this. Console output, copy html, fine. Let me check the pipeline again and let me fix that also. So simply what we will do, we will go to the configured and let me just dot over here. No, what I have to do it, I have to delete the dot because currently whatever we have, we will copy that part itself. So just me save build now. Let us check it out. What does build says, right? The build is successful, right? What we are doing is that if you check it over here, you're able to find that, whatever we have changes that has been reflected over there, right? He will write some code for this, right? And he will push to this repository, right? For this repository, whenever you push that has to be reflected on our website. So our agenda is to make one webhook. For that, what we have to do it, we have to go to the Jenkins, right? Again, we have to go for Jenkins pipeline. Let us say, where is our pipeline? Let me just check it over here. I think we have just moved out at here. Let me add. Yes. Here I'll click on the website responsive. Then I'll go for configure because we have to enable something. For that use case, what you required, we require you to integrate this in GitHub trigger for GitHub source code management pooling, right? So whenever the code is changes in the GitHub, automatically their event will be triggered. So for that use case, we required some plugins that need to be installed. Okay. So for that use case, we'll go to the dashboard. Then we'll go to manage Jenkins, right? We'll go for plugins over here. Right? I'll go for the available plugins. Then afterwards, I will add it webhook, right? So generic webhook, right? Whenever we are going to use it, we will add it over here, request XLT JSON. So generic webhook, I will install this and GitHub integration. Yes, I want to make this also. So just to build the trigger, right? I think we required only one plugin. So let me install this also as well. So this plugins is getting installed. Now what we will do? Yes, is done, right? So that we don't require any restart for this. So plugin is done. We have already, right, we are accessing also our website. That is fine. So now what we will do it, we will go back over here and we will configure the webhook here, right? So whatever the event is there, that has to be pushed to our server. So in this case, you have to click on the webhook. After webhook, you have to add it over here. Then it will confirm you to confirm your password. So simply what you do, you go and copy from here your path, right? Just paste it over your server IP. Then you give it GitHub webhook, right? Slash and select JSON way. And let me check it out. Is our path is correct or no? So that should prompt us the tick mark, right? So I have a README. For that README, I will change it everything. Website, website responsive, right? This use case is for the developer whenever he commit anything, right? He changes in the design and everything that has to be reflected on the website. Let's check is our pipelines get triggered. It is successfully triggered, right? So for that, you need to install one more plugin. So that plugin I will update over here also, right? I'll show you the plugin. If you check it over here, you will be finding that this pipeline is successfully done, right? So for that use case, you need to install one plugin that I will show you now. Let me go to the manage Jenkins. For the if you go for the plugin, install plugin, right? You have to search in available plugin in your case, right? So you will be finding over here GitHub integration. Okay, GitHub integration. This plugin you have to install. Okay, GitHub integration plugin. This plugin you need to do it to make it auto trigger enable, right? So whenever we change anything, that has to be deployed. So now the use case is that if I'm going back over the responsive design, let's say I'm accessing over here, right? So let's say the Zoom is there. The client say, please change the name of your website to XYZ, right? So in this case, where it is, this is from the home page, right? So if I go for the home page, let me click it over here. I will be finding anywhere Zoom. Let me find, click on this. Do I find anywhere control plus F Zoom? Let me just find Zoom is over here. And then next, okay, Zoom to be replaced with what? With Asim, right? Let's check it out with this. Replace all. So let's change this as, and let's see that changes are reflected or no, right? I will update over here. So now check it out if our pipeline get triggered or no, right? The pipeline is getting triggered, auto deployment is getting initiated. Let's wait a few seconds. It's saying that it's working fine. Okay. So now that deployment is successful, but let me go and recheck is the deployment. I mean, the names has been changed or no, right? Okay, fine. What we're doing, we are trying to change this here. Now the use case. As we see on our home page, we are finding that introducing low light app landing template, right? So in this case, what we are trying to say that let's say just what we will do it. Just I will copy the content from here, right? And I will just want to change this, right? The developer want to change this. So quickly I'll be finding in the index.html file. I will edit. I want to find that where it is over here in our file. So if I check click on this, you're able to find that this is available in right over here. So what I want to introduce, I want to change it with the website, right? I will add some line and I will say replace all, right? All will be replaced. So if you check it over here, we are adding some points, some content over here. I'll click on the commit changes and I will reflect these changes on the website. So let's check is that build is getting triggered or no. You're able to find that one trigger will be done now. See the trigger has been initiated, right? Whenever we are changing, that trigger has to be initiated. So that has to be auto deployed on our website. Fine, that is done successfully. Now if I check over here, you should able to find that some of the content has been changed. If you check it over here, whatever the changes we have done in the source code, that has been reflected on our website, right? This is how whenever the changes is done by the developer, he will take this GitHub repo and he will add in his local machine and he will push this to our GitHub repository. So whatever the changes he will do, will be reflected on the website automatically. Okay, that's fine. Now the point is that are we are going to how we are going to fetch or provide this to the users, right? In this case, there is two options that we are already using. First is using Nginx, right? So in this case, we have already Nginx -v. If you check over here, Nginx is installed. So where are their configuration files? If you go over here, you're able to find cd slash act slash Nginx and site availables, right? You're able to find our LL over here. You will be finding one default file, right? Click over here, you will define this is a default web server, and the file also is given is saying that to go and whatever the content is there that has to be displayed. So that for our end, that is also fine. So everything is fine. So quickly what we will do it, we will go and we will add, sorry, this is 80, right? So what we will do, we will add our domain over here, right? So now what do we require? We have a domain hosted on GoDaddy. We'll go over here and we will create one entry stating that is a entry, and I will give the name as a website, right? I need to provide the IP address of my server, right? So where is my server is hosted over here, right? I'll go to the instance which is running. I click over here, I will to find one public IP. That IP I will give it over here, right? So where I have to give it, I have to give in the entry of a type, right? So I'll give it over here, then I will save it. Now you will to find that the DNS has been updated, right? So you'll be fine. This is fine. So that has been reflected. Now the point is how we are going to access. So down the domain name is what is the domain name? We have awesome.click, right? Simply we have made one subdomain, right? For the subdomain we are adding over here. So in this case we have to go with just a second. HTTP, right? So you're able to find that whatever the changes we have the website we are hosting that has been mapped over here. Now the point is that we already have access, but still it's saying that it's not secure. So how we are going to secure, right? In this case, that SSL certification will comply. If you check SSL certification, you're able to find Sudboard is a provider, right? Sudboard is one of the provider for SSL certifications. Okay, right? HTTPS certificates, and this is ORG, that means that is free, they are going to provide. But how you're going to configure that, right? For that use case, what we require to just simply what we will do it, we will install Sudboot using Nginx, right? So if I go to the official website, just a second, how we are going to configure this. So simply what is saying, the HTTPS will encrypt the data between the client and the server, right? This already we have discussed in the detailed way, but how we are going to install Sudboot on Nginx, right? Simply if you click it over here, you're able to find that Sudboot Nginx over here. So let's go and configure SSL certification also. For that, what we required to install some of those plugins, right? First, what we're doing, we will install Sudboot on this server. So just I'll paste it over here. So what it will do, it will paste over here and it will install Sudboot on our this virtual machine. After installing Sudboot, we can request the SSL certification for our domain that is what we have configured, right? Website.asimcloudtech.com. So that is done. After that, what we required to request, right? Request our domain, right? Our certificate for the domain. So simply I will paste it over here. Then afterwards, website website.asimcloudtech.com, right? Which domain I want to request. I request for the subdomain of this. Let's say what it will ask. Urgent email address. I will give it asim at gmail.com. Fine. So let's say what will happen. I say yes. Whatever the request is giving, I'll say that that's fine. So now it's trying to check on the browser. Is this domain is accessible or no? So it's saying successfully accessible, right? And they have already added or issued one certificate, that is plum full chain.pem and the private.pem, right? This two has been updated and that has been added in the default file, because we have what file we have file as default, right? So in this case I will add default. If you check it over here, you will to find some SSL configuration has been done. If you come down below, let's check it out where it has added. See, it has added a server name, right? Already there. Fine. It has updated the SSL certification also below. If you check over here, you'll be able to find that SSL certification has been updated also, right? So this operation is done. So after that, what we'll do is system ctl restart Nginx, right? Fine. So now if I will to find on the internet, right, it should not prompt me that this is not safe site. It should access my website now. Fine. See, I'm able to access with my website. If I want to go feature, I'm able to go to the feature. If you click over here, you'll be finding this. Why it's saying that this is not fine? Okay, we have some issue. The reason is that we have not enabled HTTPS support, right? So I think we have revoked some of the point. So let me go and add that HTTPS port as well, right? So security, just go on the inbound rule. Click on the intron boot. Then you have to enable HTTPS over here where it is HTTPS. Then I'll click it from anywhere, then save it, right? So the motive is to refresh now. We will be able to access now. Okay, we have already debugged. If you click on this point, you will be know that connection is secured and it is accessible. The certificate is valid. If you want to review the certificate, you're able to find that certificate. Just a second. I was able to show you which kind of certificate was that. If you click on this, you're able to find the certificate is issued for website.asimcloudtech.com, right? And this is, let's say, encrypt that is issued today, and it will be expired on February 3rd. That means 3 months it has been issued. So this is how you can add it. By this, as I mentioned, that by the end of this video, you're able to know how to configure and add a configured Jenkins, right? How you're going to publish your website and add SSL certification with a domain using Let's Encrypt support, right? Don't forget to share, subscribe with your friend, and hit the bell icon so you receive all the updates of this video. Thank you very much.